This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news tonight, Grand Bahama is emerging as a big player in the regional cruise business, with arrivals showing signs of growth. While proximity to the United States could be seen as an advantage, competition in the region remains fierce for the cruise dollar. Tonight, a top executive talks about the way forward for the Caribbean in the cruise business. The Caribbean is described as the birthplace for modern cruising from North America. The region experienced significant growth in the industry over the past 20 years, from about 8 million passenger arrivals to more than 20 million expected from Florida Caribbean Cruise Association's member lines this year.
Cruise lines go to where their passengers want to go. Cruise lines go to where they can make the most money. And it's very important that destinations drive this demand, that they echo similar business practices as the cruise lines.
According to President of FCCA Michelle Page, while the Caribbean holds the lead in the cruise industry with fun attractions and assortment of cultures, cuisines, and historic values, those destinations now face global competition, with destinations like China growing exponentially and the Mediterranean predicting a record year. So how does the Caribbean continue to keep pace with this evolving industry?
A recent CTO study says it all. The Caribbean's ability to stimulate the required demand will be directly dependent upon its capacity to refresh and reinvent its tourism economies by effectively adapting to the ever-changing global environment, pushing the envelope, taking risks, launching innovations which consistently deliver on changing consumer expectations. Travelers are hungry to learn about the destinations, the diversity, the history, the culture, the ecology, cuisine, attractions, products that are made in the destinations, not in China.
The Cruise Association executive says the FCCA also has a role to play in helping destinations to stand out.
FCCA is about to embark on a very important project, a project to do a self-analysis for the destinations, to evaluate where the gaps are of the delivery of this uniqueness, to evaluate the marketing message for this uniqueness.
Sabrina Brown. The Ministry of Tourism promoting the beaches of Grand Bahama. Beaches have become a marketing tool for the country, and the ministry is capitalizing on this in a very special way. Italia Hall has more.
Last August, the Ministry of Tourism posted a competition on social media called the Best Beaches of the Bahamas Photo Contest, and the grand prize for the winner, a free trip to view all of the beautiful beaches on Grand Bahama. There were submissions from all over the world, but Paula Fishman from Orlando, Florida had the edge over the competitors, and she was then selected the winner. Fishman worked in the Bahamas many years ago, and she says she was ecstatic when she received the call.
I entered about 6 pictures that I thought were beautiful because I have traveled around the Bahamas a lot. So I entered my pictures, and one of them won, and I was so excited. And I won this trip, and I couldn't be happier. This is the best place in the world, in the planet, and I just love it here.
Her experience has been an adventurous one on the island, and she says this trip is one that she would never forget.
This has been amazing. I can't even tell you, the people of the Bahamas are just beautiful. They're warm and friendly and so welcoming, and our experience just even at the airport, the whole Bahamas Ministry of Tourism that met us here were just absolutely fantastic. They made me feel like royalty.
Communications manager for the Ministry of Tourism, Michaela Moss, says she's hoping that this competition would attract additional visitors to the Bahamas.
Paula's visit with her promotion of the best beaches with her photographs means that more visitors will get to see from an outsider's perspective what they consider to be the beauty of the islands of the Bahamas. And we know visitors don't only come for the beaches, we know they come for some of the culture, and so we've tried to incorporate that into the visit. We also know that people are foodies nowadays, or they're very impressed with the food of different nations, and so we've also tried to put some of our Bahamian food in on her visit. We've added a lot of conch, which she was well versed on, so the conch salad, the conch fritters, the crack conch, and a few of our beverages.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Italia. The Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darville, and Minister of Immigration and Foreign Affairs, Fred Mitchell, getting a first-hand view of preparations underway for the Junkanoo Carnival Festival on Grand Bahama. Ministers Darville and Mitchell toured the Grand Bahama Cultural Carnival Company at the Regent Center on Friday and are giving their support. Minister Darville says he is pleased that local Junkanoo groups have seized the opportunity to capitalize on the construction of costumes for the upcoming carnival.
Also want to thank our Junkanooers and all of the groups here on Grand Bahama who have come together as one unified force so that we can demonstrate to the rest of the country what is happening here on Grand Bahama and how we have embraced the whole concept of Junkanoo Carnival. I'm looking forward that in the years to come it will be a major signature event here for Grand Bahama, and it will mean critical mass flowing to the island of Grand Bahama, and for me as Minister for Grand Bahama, it will be major injection, financial injection to our economy, which will ultimately mean jobs and also mean opportunities for individuals who are serious about Junkanoo.
Junkanoo Carnival will kick off on April 17th at Taino Beach with a performance from the 19 semi-finalists in the Carnival Song Competition. Minister Mitchell says he hopes Junkanoo Carnival becomes a signature event that will help to generate sustainable economic growth for Grand Bahama and the country.
And people will come from not only outside the country but from other islands inside the country to Grand Bahama for these signature events. So I think it's going to be very exciting. Obviously the artisans are very happy. They're engaged in productive work. And I want to congratulate all the organizers here in Grand Bahama, Ms. Moxie, her team, for getting this organized. And who knows, on the 17th, 18th, I may find my way in Freeport. I think I've got my costume already picked out. So thank you very much.
The island of Bimini completing an historic weekend. The community came together this past Saturday to host their first ever Junior Junkanoo Parade. Megan Shepard was there.
The first ever Junior Junkanoo Parade for Bimini dubbed a success. Chairman of the committee, Triska Roll, says after a few years of challenges with getting the schools on board, the committee decided to make the event a community affair.
But this time we started with a community effort where we have our committee that went into the community and asked parents, and so we filled out a consent form and got parents' consent, and that's how we started with this venue for this year.
3 groups to the parade route for 2 laps. The preschoolers, Bimini Stars, presenting Under the Sea. The primary school students, Bimini Pacers, brought back the bell-bottoms and afros, their theme, back in the day, with fashion and music. And finally, to make their debut, Bimini's Finest, their theme, coming out of Africa, brought along zebras, tigers, and cheetahs. Family members and tourists alike gathering on the park to support the historic parade and cheer on the performers. Vendors also getting an opportunity to make a profit with various items on sale, from food, sweet treats, and even games. Junior Junkanoo Coordinator in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Henry Higgins, says this is a very exciting time for the island and commends the committee for stepping up to make it possible.
This is very exciting, and we are pleased that the committee has come together and has put the parade on. Of course, our ministry, we assist by sending seed monies over and supplies as well.
Director of Culture Dr. Moxie Brown noting how important it is to continue this cultural display and pass it on to future generations.
But I want to say to the kids here, just have a really good time. You know, this is who we are as a people, and this is the expression that we really want to show others that we have something here to offer. And I always like to tell them that there's no culture anywhere in the world that's better than the Bahamas. And with Junkanoo being the branded name for the Bahamas as far as activities are concerned and festivals, says a whole lot as to who you are as a people. And we're going to keep this going forever and ever. Amen.
Awards were given out at the end of the night for Best Beller, Drummer, Dancer, and even Scraper. Roll says a special banquet will be held to honor and celebrate each participant. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Also from Bimini, dangerous drugs and ammunition seized overnight. Police say officers were on mobile patrol in Allistown around 11 p.m. when they observed a male at an apartment complex acting suspiciously. The man fled and police officers then went to the apartment where they reportedly discovered 50 foil wraps containing suspected marijuana and 8 foil wraps of suspected cocaine, a .40 live round of ammunition, cash, a Bahamian passport, and an American passport. Investigations are continuing into this incident. Meanwhile, 24-year-old Ricardo Alexander Butterfield of Bering Lane, Freeport, was arraigned before Magistrate Debbie Ferguson today on 4 counts of stealing by reason of employment. Butterfield is accused of stealing from his place of employment between December 23rd of last year and March 17th of this year. He pled not guilty to all charges and elected for all matters to be heard in the magistrate's court. He was remanded to Her Majesty's Prison in New Providence. Butterfield was represented by attorney Pleasant Bridgewater. Stay with us. There's more news after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Social Services to honor a number of pioneers in social work at a special banquet at Le Chateau on the Green this coming Saturday night. Tonight, Megan Shepherd introduces us to one of the honorees who will be recognized for touching the lives of students throughout the district.
She has helped to shape the lives of thousands of students. For Dorothy Lightbourne, it was one incident in particular that sparked her passion to feed and nurture her students.
And as he was going out, I noticed his pants was all greasy. He was greasy. So I said, when he came back, I said, "Come here, Sammy. What is it? What you have in your pocket?" And he said, "That's my lunch." I said, "Your lunch?" He said, "Yes." And he, hung his head down. I said, "Don't be sad." I said, "That's all your mother could afford to give you. You be happy about it." And it was from that experience that I decided to make sure that every child in my class had a proper lunch.
Lightbourne says after this, she began the school lunch program at Martintown Primary with the help of other staff members. She says from sandwiches to hot lunches, her mission was to feed every child in need. But her kindness didn't stop there. Lightbourne would also have uniforms made for students.
I would get blouses and stuff, as you know, I travel a lot to the U.S. And I must thank Customs because they had a saying, when you see Joan and you see Mrs. Lightbourne, she had 2 big blue suitcases and they were full of children's clothes, where I would buy all of the socks and the underclothes and blouse and stuff. I'd bring them all in.
Lightbourne says it fills her with pride to see her students doing well and leading successful lives in the community. She says that back then, it was a village that raised a child.
We had a very good relationship with Nurse Anderson, so our health care was taken care of. The commissioners, the police, it was a family. It was really a community. I made sure the children and their parents, some of them had 2 jobs in the 70s. Send them to the school and they would clean the yard and we would do all the indoor painting, and I taught the boys how to mix cement, and we found the walkway and fixed the locks, the bathrooms, we fixed everything.
Many who know Lightbourne and have passed through her classroom say she truly gives from her heart. She says everything she did was for the love of her kids and wanted them to know that they were all truly special. Lightbourne will be honored this Saturday for her many years of dedication. Megan Shepherd, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Megan. The Bahamas Down Syndrome Association thrilled with the level of support given to the Rock Your Socks awareness campaign this past Friday. Persons from throughout the community, including local schools, joining in the initiative to heighten awareness about Down syndrome. Officials using every medium possible to get the message out, including social media. We caught up with the president of the local association, Wendy Hanna, at a conclave. She says the response locally exceeded their expectations.
I feel great. I think the Grand Bahama community has really come out and given us the support that we were hoping for. So Grand Bahama rocks, and it's just exciting for the society to really get the support from the community. I was expecting this, so I'm glad that my expectations have been met and exceeded.
That message once again in support of Down syndrome.
Basically, it's just to accept people with Down syndrome, include them, even though you don't have a perfect pair of socks, they're still perfect in the eyes of our community, and just to, show them love, show them support, and treat them as you would anybody else with love and respect.
Hannah says next year is expected to be even better, as there is a call for the association to take its campaign to the next level. The Bahamas National...
Next year, everybody has been asking me to sell the wacky crazy socks, so we might use that as a fundraiser for next year, that we'll sell people the fun crazy socks to wear on this day. So I think it's going to just go from higher to higher heights, and more people will be, jump on board, I'm sure.
The Bahamas National Trust hosting its public lecture series on Grand Bahama. The topic of discussion, the Bonefish and Tarpon Trust's Tagging and Genetics Program, which has been around for 5 years. Justin Lewis, the Bahamas Initiative Coordinator for the Bonefish and Tarpon Trust, shedding light on the program.
We put these little dart tags in the bonefish, and we use it to track their movements, figure out their growth rates, and hopefully find out where spawning aggregation sites are. We have other scientists working on this, but we mostly depend on local guides and recreational anglers helping us out in our efforts.
Lewis says there is insufficient public information about the bonefish in the Bahamas. The bonefish, he notes, is important to the Bahamian economy, and the tagging program can help with this study.
141 million annually to the Bahamian economy. We depended on them for a long time for food and for employment, and they're also ecologically important as well. We don't have a problem with overfishing. It's more coastal degradation through tourism developments via dredging and putting in marinas and whatnot that is destroying the habitat which bonefish depend on, and thus it's displacing them.
The Bonefish and Tarpon Trust is advising Bahamians to join the campaign. If tagged fish are caught, the trust says the fish should be measured and weighed, and the trust is to be contacted using the information provided on the tag. And be sure to stay tuned. We have a special treat for you at the end of this newscast. But coming up after the break, Ricardo Lightborn with sports.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Sports and Ricardo Live. And tonight I'm dedicating sports to 80 years young Ruth Jones. This is Arthur Jones' mama. I tell you what, this one's for you, babes. Here we go. Saturday was a fun day. Zedana's Fun Run and Walk was held, and guess what? It was all systems go. We had a great morning to work out too. The Zedana's Healthy Lifestyle Fun Run Walk in conjunction with Subway was a blast. Just ask Miss Major and the girls. The ladies are ready to hit the road. Hey, that's Team Statoil, and it's a company effort. Race director Bert Bell gave instructions to the runners and the walkers, and just like that, we are off. The Zedana's Fun Run Walk on the mall and headed north, and a full field. The 5K was a breeze for some of the competitors. Then again, it was an early morning thrill just to get that workout in, and it was worth it. Kevin Aubrey was the first one to register this year. Bahamas Police Force made sure the streets were clear from start to finish. The participants in this year's really got a good time to run and walk for a beneficial cause. It was all business for Keitrell Hannah, completing the 5K in 16 minutes and 20 seconds. Just another run for Hannah, who has some big plans this year and made no mistake.
I feel great, but I just thank God for the victory. No pain, no cramps, and just a daily thing because I practice daily. Sometimes on vacation I go 7 days a week, holiday. I try my best to go to Olympics, God's willing, I'll be in the Olympics.
Second in this year's race was young Travis Joseph. His time, 19 minutes and 47 seconds.
I practice every day and make sure I do my best so that I can improve my times and so that I can get better in life.
Some of the competitors needed a bit of encouragement, and well done. Still on the course, these ladies are putting an effort in and loving it. The elder statesman's also making an appearance. It's Dad's turn at the helm, and the twins are taking that nap. I made an appearance with my wife Judith Sandradine Lightbourne, and of course she beat me again. Come on girls, keep pumping, you're almost there. Then as Deputy General Manager Stanley Pinder and Miss Garvey walking and talking. Team Burrows out for an early walk. Come on, Ross, hang in there. You only got a 2K ahead. The 6 a.m. walk was a great start for the day. Alice Williams, mind, body, and soul, go for it. It was worth the cause. Chris Leary made it happen. 142 runners and walkers with the proceeds of the Grand Bahama Home for the Aged. The thrill of the competition and helping to make it all happen was worthwhile. Well, folks, the Franco Miller Scott Forbes Junior Basketball Tournament is also being played. They were at the Jack Hayward Gym. Jack Hayward Junior and the 13 boys over Sunline 26-5. Tabernacle of Egmont Rock 20-12. And the under 15 division, it was Jack Hayward over Egmont Rock 29-15. Sunline guiding by Mary Star 19-8. And a good one there as well. Also, you got the playoffs in the Grandma Basketball Association. The Lady Flames over the Lady Predators, 45-42. Larica Russell, 12 in this one. Germania Wild goes auto scores with 18. Coca-Cola Saints over the Cobras, 64-61. Keno Russell, 20-point game. Roman Gibson led the Cobras with 18. And the Grand Bahama Shipyard Cruisers, they bagged the Arawak Stars, 65-59. Marco Cooper, 19 points. And also Clemente Martin and Avalon Kelly also had a pretty good one as well. And making sure some things happened. Those guys had 10 points. And they all looking pretty good to see how it goes. Well, they're telling me that is it for sports tonight. But the bottom line is this. We had some guys who took part. Didn't see some people, but I ain't gonna call no name, you know. I just ain't gonna call no name. That's sports.